Welcome to today's video, which is going to be a journal with me video. I will be making my reading journal setup for April. My reading journal is where I track my book progress, how much I read each day, as well as any other book habits and book things that I want to track or remember, which is why I make monthly setups so I can track my progress each month. Before I can start the setup, I am finishing up and grabbing all the things I will be using today. Now that I am done with that, let's get started in making the setup today. The first one is the cover page. With how much work last month's setup was, I wanted to have a less time-consuming and simple setup this month. For writing out the titles, I am keeping it simple by writing in my normal handwriting, and I am using craft paper for making squares and stars to add as decoration to the layout. I also added checkerboards because I thought it would be nice to add them around the page and give a contrast to all the craft paper that I'm using to this. I'll also be keeping the setup simple by using stickers. I have these adorable cat stickers, which will be the theme for this month. This won't be a drawing heavy setup, just a chill, quick setup, hopefully. Finish the cover page, now onto books to borrow. I changed this to book list last month and now I changed it again. I think books to borrow makes more sense than book list or library list, because it's literally the books that I want to borrow. I like to keep the spread structured, so I used a table with two columns. The first is title and author, and the second is column number. I added this column last month, and it has been helpful in finding the books that I want quicker. I look at the call number of a book and can go directly to the area where the book will be. I am thinking that I might add another column to this next month, where I can have the status of the books, to know if I ended up borrowing the book, had to place a hold, or didn't borrow the book yet. That way I can tell what books I have borrowed or have not and can add the books I haven't borrowed to the next month's list. So I might have that as an addition in my next setup. The color palette will be the same as the colors of the cat stickers, so primarily different tones of brown with yellow, since I thought it would be a nice complement color to brown. I have wanted to use stickers in a theme since my 2026 bullet journal setup. I have this star hole puncher and I became obsessed with it, and I'm excited that I get to make stars for the setup finally. I don't know how this setup is going to turn out other than writing out the titles and layouts. I don't have a plan, so I am pretty much winging it from this point on. I am placing the stickers and paper where I feel it looks good, and hopefully the setup will come together at the end and look nice. To Be Read is a new spread that I'm trying out. I've seen the To Be Read spreads before, but I have never used them because I tend to borrow books from the library and they tell me when the book is due. But I have been thinking about the books I have that I haven't read yet. So I thought for this month it would be a good idea to have this in my setup to write down all the books I have and have not yet read from the books that I have, the ones I haven't read yet. Maybe by having them listed here, it will push me to read them. I am just making a table that only has one column, and that is for the title and author of the book. I am interested in seeing how efficient this spread will be for me. The goal is to have read at least one of the books in this table. I'm hoping I'll become strict with myself and read the books that I have rather than getting distracted and doing something else with my time. quotes. I had this near the end of my setup last month, but I am changing it back to before the reading tracker. I think it fits to have quotes page next to be read. I am keeping the layout the same as always, freestyle, where I don't have to plan out anything, which is why the only thing I sketched out was quotes. I keep it like this because I don't know where I am going to be writing down quotes, and I like separating the quotes so I don't get them confused and I can tell what quote is from what book I read. Sometimes I feel like I can go a bit overboard with the decorating on spreads that don't have a layout, and that by doing that I am decreasing the amount of space I can write in. I'm having a lot of fun at making the checkerboards and figuring out where I should place things. It's fun coming up with that and what I do with the space and seeing how it all turns out. Book log is in a different place than I usually have it. I usually have the reading tracker at the front and then book log on the back. But this time around, I am having book log at the front and reading tracker after it. I don't think I have had book log at the front before, so I am interested in seeing if I prefer it this way. This is the spread that I have all the book information of the books I am reading. I like to have 2 logs rather than 1 in case I run out of space in the first one and have them facing each other. I am now seeing the problem with having the book log at the front. I can't see the reading tracker when I have the book log in the front of it because I don't cut out as much of the book log as I do for the reading tracker. Well, at least I know now how my setup looks with the book log before the reading tracker, but I will probably continue having reading tracker first and then book log after. On the back of book log, I have April books. I like to give the monthly book spread a small area because it's not necessary to have a whole page for the books that I read this month. All I write here is the title and author of each book, so it doesn't need that much space, and that's why I have half a page for it rather than a whole page. Next is reading tracker. I am having a different layout style for the calendar where I have a space between each of the days of the week. So Monday, Tuesday, etc. column is separated, but the rows are staying together. I want to try out a different style for the calendar this time. I am having a lot of fun at making the checkerboards, as I've said before. They are simple to make, and they really help with putting the whole setup together. I just want to mention that these cut stickers are adorable. They are so cute. I feel like I wasn't doing that good at decorating the spreads at the start of the setup, but now near the end of the setup, I think I found my rhythm. I've noticed the more of the setup I go, the more checkerboards I started adding, which I think was a good idea because I really like the checkerboards and how they work well with the cat stickers and craft paper that I have. Overview, I am keeping it the same as I always do. I like having it near the end of the setup. Since it is my book statistics for the month, I have the same tables that I had last month. I really liked using them last month, and I'm continuing to use them this month. I'm not adding anything new this month. I am tracking what book format, genres, subgenres I read the most in April, rather than having total books read and total pages read in their own section this time. I am adding them into another table that's called totals for all the totals of the month, just to keep the layout more organized and neat. I like to have 2 pages for overview so that I have space between each of the tables and being able to add decoration around the pages without any issues. Now to mini spread in the middle of overview. Now looking at it, I think I should have made it bigger. The front is for my favorite book of the month, and within that space that I have, I am going to write the book that I like the most and the reasons why I liked it. Then on the back is the least favorite book of the month, where I write why it's my least favorite book and the things I didn't like about it, just giving an explanation as to why I didn't like it. My last spread for the setup is reading notes, and as always, it is just basically my brain dump for my reading journal. Reading notes is just where I write down all the things that I have thoughts on from the books that I'm reading. I have a habit of reading books where there are multiple characters in it, and sometimes I forget the name of some characters. If I am reading like a fantasy or classical book where there's a lot of characters in it, this is very helpful to have for me. I just write out the names and then can look at this to remind myself of who is who. I also use this for writing down my thoughts on a book. I can get very passionate about a book, and I use this to write down my thoughts and opinions. So that's what I use reading notes for. It's very fun to use, and seeing at the end of the month what I was passionate about So yeah, that's my setup for this month. I can't wait to start using this as well as planning out my ideas for next month, especially because I got a break from drawing because I did use stickers this time. So next month I should be doing drawings again. Thank you for watching this far, if you have, and until the next video, bye! And a goodbye from Blobby, who has been my trusted companion this whole time with staying with me and making my setup. So a goodbye from him. Bye!